guys,
Hey.
welcome back to our channel, and today we are going to be talking about whether staying on Disney property is actually worth it at the minute.
Right, so, well, first of all, for anyone that actually watches quite frequently, I still haven't had a haircut.
Oh, you've literally said this in like 7 videos.
I know.
Nobody cares.
Anyway, back to the video. So, usually with things like this, I and Charlotte are massive advocates of staying on Disney. So, like, we will say that Disney property is always superior. We literally, like, even just, like, family members, like, if we have the opportunity to push them onto property, we always will. Anyone that messages us on, like, Instagram and stuff, we're just, like, always saying, just do it. It's honestly the best decision we ever made, because our first trip we didn't stay on property, but then since then we've always stayed on property, and it just changes the experience. It just makes it even better. However, is it still worth it?
So obviously at the moment, with everything that's going on with the pandemic, things have to change, and a lot of changes have been put in place in Disney World for this year, and from what I've heard, a lot of this will be carrying through to 2021, so next year as well. So first thing is that at the moment, fast passes are not a thing. And obviously, my hair's caught. And obviously one of the advantages to staying on Disney property was that you could book your fast passes well in advance. So before everything happened, if you stayed on Disney property, you could book your Disney fast passes 60 days in advance, whereas if you stayed off-site, you could only book them 30 days in advance. So that was like a huge benefit for getting fast passes for like hard to get rides.
Well, it's even better, especially if you go in there, because a lot of people obviously go over a period of time, they wait like 2 or 3 years, and by that point there's new rides, and the new rides always get done up really quickly. When we last went, we got Slinky Dog Dash, which hadn't been open that long at all, and it was just like, bang, there it is.
Yeah. So obviously staying on site, you usually get that benefit, but at the moment, because fast passes are cancelled, you don't get that benefit at all. Staying on site or off site is just not a thing. So that's one thing that you pay a lot for to stay in Disney, but you're not getting right now.
So the next point is, when you stay on Disney property, you also get advanced bookings on Disney dining, so reservations for food and eating and stuff like that. Usually this sits at 180 days, and that's brilliant, because I don't think we've ever struggled to get anywhere we want. We've always just been able to get what we want. So like even the really popular places like Cinderella's Table or Royal Table, that we've always
not that we've ever been there.
We've not been there, but there has always been availability. However, they've changed that now, and it's no longer 180 days. You only have 60 days in advance, which just means that it's a little bit harder to book. It just makes it so that more people are able to book at that point, and it does. You might not necessarily get all the restaurants you want.
I mean, everybody will be in the same boat, so nobody will be able to book more than 60 days in advance. But it's just, for us, obviously, when you booked the Disney dining plan before and you had 180 days, you could like plan your holiday 6 months ahead of where you're going to be. Whereas planning, you kind of have to do fairly last minute. I mean, 60 days is not last minute, but if you're a Disney holiday like planner and like to do it like we do, then it's, 60 days isn't very long to plan everything. So obviously you've now got that disadvantage as well, which has been taken away from you, sadly. Also, for people that stay on Disney property, you would usually get extra magic hours. So that means that you can get into the park either an hour early, or sometimes it's 2 hours later, and it changes which park it is every day. Extra magic hours at the moment are actually suspended, so that's not a thing. So you don't get to stay in the park any longer or any earlier or any later if you're staying on property. It's just the same for everyone. Which
is a real down point, because like honestly, sometimes it was super busy. We were able to ride so many rides after the fact where they close, and it's like an extra 2 hours or something. You can jump on rides that are usually busy all day, like things like Peter Pan's Flight and stuff become actually queuable because they're like 20 minutes instead of 2 hours and stuff like that. So the next thing that seems to be happening is magic bands. So when you stay on property, you get a magic band. For those of you who don't know what they are, they're effectively like a little wristband that you wear around your wrist, and it does things like opens up your hotel room. You do your fast passes on it. You can connect it to your cards. You can pay for things with it, and also it normally holds your dining plan sort of credits and stuff, so you can just pay in the parks, all like cardless, cashless stuff like that. However, you get those for free. You did get those for free when you stayed on property. Now they are no longer giving them away for free.
From January 2021, that is.
Yeah. So that's not great. I mean, I think realistically I'd probably still buy one.
I think what they're doing is they're trying to reduce the use of magic bands, and most of it will just be on your phone. So my phone will be able to unlock my hotel room. It will be used for fast passes. It will be used pretty much for everything that a magic band was, but you can do it on your phone instead. As I said, if magic bands still work for all of those things, I think I would still like to have a magic band.
Yeah, we've never bought one before, but this might mean that we should buy one to use, because it then is like you'd have like a ring up and you can get one for a ride, or you can get one for like an event or something like that.
Yeah, I just feel like if they don't use magic bands, you can just use your phone, that's fine. But I just feel like I'll constantly have my phone in my hand, which I do quite a lot. But there'll be sometimes I'll just put it away for a couple of hours, whatever. But if this gets me onto the rides and this pays for things, I'm just going to always have it in my hand, which, you know, not a major thing, but it'd be nice to just, magic bands are just easier. You forget that they're there and they're just like, be done. Though I have lost one before, which was a pain.
Don't lose your phone.
No, you just don't lose your phone. Well, I don't. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, but I kind of see why they're doing it.
Yeah, though I can...
Kind of sucks.
Ooh! Ooh! Yeah, I can see why they're doing it. I don't know, I just think it's nice to be able to have a magic band, it's got the Mickey head on it, and like beep in, beep out. Maybe it'll be a better system, but we'll see.
So obviously there are a lot of changes, and I say negative, they're not negative points, but just things that you don't have access to anymore. There are still good things about staying on Disney property.
There'll always be benefits to staying on property.
Yeah, so even at the moment that all of the main benefits are temporarily unavailable, I'm sure they will all come back, but at the minute and probably into next year.
Yeah, I don't even know if they'll come back. They might come back differently.
I don't know, I think dining and fast passes will come back. It's just knowing when, I'm not sure. But one of the benefits, regardless of all of this, is how close you are. So you're still so close to the parks. So we've stayed on International Drive before when we've been, and don't get me wrong, I love staying on International Drive, and I'm sure probably one day we will again. But it's the fact of leaving the park at 10:30, 11, you're tired, you've been on your feet all day, and then the thought of getting in a car and driving 25 minutes to your hotel is just like, ugh, like the last thing you want.
Yeah, it must be so difficult for you.
Well, okay. I still had to wait, you know, even though I fell asleep in the car or whatever.
You fell asleep standing up on a moving bus.
But that was in Disney, not on off-site. But yeah, you're still close, which is really nice. I forgot what I was going to say. I had something and then you rudely interrupted me.
But yeah, as she said, it is really good being on property, just because of how close you are able to get up a little bit later. And also you don't feel so rushed when you're in the mornings. You don't feel like you have to leave early to get back. And another massive point about staying on property is when we stayed on International Drive, the days felt longer. Just because on a few of the days when we've gone like peak summer and it's reaching like ridiculous heats and the parks are real busy, we can just go home, back to the hotel during the day. And I don't feel like it's that much of an issue. Like if I decided 1 o'clock, Charlotte and I were like, oh, you know what, we've been here since open. Let's go home for an hour, get some lunch at the hotel, chill in the room for a bit, and then come back in the late afternoon, evening when it's cooled down. I don't mind doing that when I'm on property, because you're back home, depending on which park you're in, you're back home within 30 minutes, whereas you're looking a good hour before you can get back to your hotel on International Drive, depending on locations. And if you're in Kissimmee, you're saying like even further, things like that. But yeah, that's a massive perk. Like, we never left the park to go home and come back, did we, when we stayed on International Drive?
No.
You just don't do it. Yeah, that's definitely a benefit, just being that close.
And another benefit to staying on site regardless of when you go, is the fact that you're always in Disney. So it's nice to feel that you're always in this Disney bubble as such. Like, you're in the hotels and there's character meet and greets, there's the Disney gift shops, there's the Disney themed foods. It just feels like you really never leave. You're just there the whole time, which when we stayed in International Drive, I mean, we didn't stay in like a fancy hotel, it was just like a basic hotel, and you do kind of forget whilst you're in your hotel room that you're in Florida. You could just be in a hotel room anywhere, it's just a normal hotel. Whereas obviously if you ever stayed in a Disney hotel, you just, like, everything, like the soaps have got Mickeys on them, and it's just like you just know that you are 100% there, which is a big benefit. And
depending on which hotel you stay, you walk outside and there's like a Woody the size of a bus. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that.
Any hotel, I mean, things might not be as obviously Disney in some of them, but it's still like
magic.
Yeah, exactly.
And you still get the same service as well. Like, the service you get in... I'm not saying that the service in other hotels off Disney isn't great, because I think the service in America is genuinely a lot better than it is here in the UK. But you get the same service you'll get in the park as you would as in your hotel, and that's quite nice. You kind of get that... I don't know, it just feels... It feels different. It feels nice.
Yeah. So overall, I'm talking about me personally, I don't know if you agree, but overall, usually I would say before all of this, stay in Disney, no doubt about it. It's worth the extra price. What I'm saying now is I know they've just started, I think, allowing people to book holidays again to go there. I would say if you're going or planning on going this year, if it goes ahead or whatever, or if you're going next year and you haven't booked anything yet, I would maybe double think about if you want to stay on Disney, mainly because the prices are expensive and they're not changing the prices due to all of this. As far as I'm aware, you're still paying that premium price and you're only getting a couple of benefits when you should get a whole host of them. So I would maybe think about maybe staying off site. I mean, if you're only going to go to Disney once, then I would say, stay on site. But if you're like us and go... I mean, we don't really go regularly, but, we go as often as we can. I would say try and maybe stay off-site. I think if I was in a position where we hadn't have anything booked, I would consider staying off-site right now, just because you're saving so much money and it just seems pointless paying for all these perks when you don't even get the option to use them. I don't know if you agree, but for me, I would personally recommend stay off-site until everything clears up and things go back to normal.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, I was actually going to say, when it comes to booking a Florida holiday, for like the majority of people, that's quite a big decision, because it's not a cheap holiday. It's not a...
For people living in the UK anyway.
Yeah, obviously for people in the UK, it's not a small holiday, I don't know anyone that can just click their fingers and they're off to Florida the next week. I don't know people with that kind of money. But if I was in the position that we're now rebooking, I would probably go in or go online and I'd get 2 quotes. I'd go in, I'd get from the same website, and I'd get a quote for staying on International Drive or Kissimmee or wherever, and then I'd get a quote for staying on property. Only because, we've as we said, you're still paying that premium, and we believe that they're still charging you the full premium, but it's worth checking. Because if you go on and they're not that far apart, then obviously, if you can afford the extra little bit, I would still recommend it. However, if you look at it and you go, Jesus, that's a big difference, that big difference isn't worth it anymore, in my opinion.
Well, for now.
We're not right this second. And also, the only issue is if you go on and you now book an International Drive, you go and you stay on International Drive and you've booked to the end of 2021, by that point they could all be back in. So actually you might...
Well, from what I've heard, the dining plan and everything isn't going to be back next year. They've cancelled the dining plan for next year. But they might change their mind. But as they've said, it's gone through to 2021. So it's going to be a while before things go back to normal. And obviously we spoke about in a video a couple of weeks ago about the situation we're in. We're still unsure what's happening. But if we do rebook, I mean, we're not really sure if we will for a few years, but if we do rebook, I would really consider about maybe not staying on site if we're not going to get all these perks.
What?
Obviously, you don't agree.
No, I will be going back 100%.
No. I'm not saying we're not going to go back. I'm just saying I think I would think about, do we stay in Disney?
Oh, yeah. No,
or do
I'm
we
happy
just
to
stay
stay
on
up.
International Drive, have extra dollars and buy like more stuff when we go over?
A little bit off topic, but if you do stay on International Drive, get a car.
Yeah.
God, like...
You'd have to.
Well, we didn't for that first week.
Yeah, and it was rubbish.
It wasn't rubbish.
It was rubbish.
It's just a real pain, because obviously at the end of the day, it's 11 o'clock, and all you want to do is get into your bed, but you have to stand and wait for a bus to get out of Magic Kingdom.
Yeah,
and
I
then,
just don't like relying on...
Well, you have to stand and wait to get on the train, and then you get the train, or the monorail, and then you have to wait for a bus to do a little rail thing to take you to your bus, and then that bus has to take you to your property off of International Drive. It's just... Yeah, it was... we definitely had more disagreements when we had to wait around, because Charlotte gets very moody when she's tired.
You just don't want to be waiting for an hour and a half for a bus when you've been in the park for 12 hours. It just
Anyway,
get a car.
that we could do a whole video
That's different
on getting a car.
So yeah, that's our opinion on what it's like to stay in Disney right now. Let us know if you agree. I mean, I'm not the expert. I don't know if...
I am.
Okay, he's not, but we're not experts. So like if, there might be something that I'm missing, there may be a discounted rate at the minute because of everything that's going on, but...
Yeah, in our defence, we haven't actually been on and tried to book one.
No, because we've already got one booked, so we haven't looked into that. But as far as I'm aware, I've not heard anyone mention it. I haven't read it in any articles, that type of thing. But yeah, that is our opinion. If you're in a boat of thinking about going next year, basically just think about it a lot more, because it might not be worth it like it usually is.
Use your noodle.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you again for watching, and we shall see you next week.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.